Okay, now we've got our, what we're going to call our middle plate. Remember, bottom plate and middle plate, they're identical. Doesn't matter which one of these you use, you can use either one. This will call our middle plate. The reason we're going to do this now is because we need to get to all the holes and bolts and stuff underneath. So what I'm going to do first is the power distribution board. We're going to just see, how high we want to go. So I think we use the 6s. This is a 6mm, so 6 and 6. And we're going to take one of your nylon nuts. You're going to locate it where the big square is in the middle. There's 4 holes on either side. So we're going to do that. Just turn it on. So I'm just holding it down low and turn it on. So you're going to get all 4 on like that. So next you can see there's long, short and some lock nuts. You're going to need the short ones for these standoffs. I would recommend at some stage maybe upgrading these to stainless steel and probably a bit longer, like 10mm, just so that there's more thread connecting them. I just tighten them up like that. The other thing I could recommend as well is using your blue Loctite on everything. Anything that's sort of metal on aluminium metal, just so that with vibrations it's not gonna come loose. So let's do that. Cool, so now we got all our standoffs done. So you can see the holes, and we got the 8 standoffs. Now what we're going to do is start adding in our different arms and our whole power distribution and everything and all the wiring for it all. So we're going to grab our wire harness with all our arms and start separating everything into its various parts. So excuse this, I'm just going to move everything slowly and sort out the mess so it looks a bit better and organized. So remember, these frame plates, it doesn't matter if that's front or back, this has now become our back because of the wire coming out the back. So we're also going to look at these guys now, because it's becoming important that we maybe try and keep these guys all together. I'm going to run them out this side, so I'm going to start feeding them through and trying to get them all to come through on the one side. Same with this guy here. See if we can get it out to this side here. This again out to this side here. So now what I want to do is start lining up our ESCs to just get through those gaps, and I want them to feed in underneath the standoff. So if you check here, I'm going to feed both of them into there, and so they both will lay flat down like that, and then that power distribution board is going to come down on it like that. So just making sure all the wires come together. So we're going to have those guys coming out the side, we're going to have these two right next to each other there, and we're going to push this down onto the onto the standoffs, onto those nylon standoffs. So now we can just notice those have just slipped out. So I want to tuck those power wires in there and just make sure nothing else is coming out the side. That looks all nice and neat. There's your 2 ESCs on either side. So now I'm going to take one of these 10mm standoffs, so that's just 10mm high, and I'm going to tighten that on there, and I'm going to take the diagonal again, 10mm, and I'm just going to hold that down there. You only need the 2 for now just to hold it down, but that just holds this whole thing in place. So now everything's there, all in place, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, all our motors and everything are now lined up in place. So all we need to do now is let's look at tying these guys in, and let's get some of this tape out the way because we don't need that sticking to underneath there. Same with this, I don't want it there. Cool. Now we're going to take our long nuts. See, the long, nice and long. If any of you are wondering about that, we had our voting today, so our regional elections here in South Africa, that's what that's about. So I'm only going to take 2 for now, and I'm just going to put the 2 lock nuts underneath. So I'm just going to flip the frame, you see, so I can put this on, and just by hand I'm just going to insert 1 lock nut on there, and I'm going to do another one on this end here, and that's it. So that just keeps it in place. It's going to be a bit loose, but that's fine. Same on this end. There we go. Just line up your holes. Okay. I'm going to do that. So the other thing we could do now is slip this one underneath, because that actually is something we need to do. Let's pull those off. We all make mistakes. Might be easier to do this now. Let's do it now. So we're gonna lift everything up, slip that under, and now we gotta line all 3 of them up. So let's get the arm out the way. Now that we've got everything together, we're going to tighten everything up. I think let's add in all of these, get all of them in. This just helps having the rest in now. So we just shove those all in. Okay, underneath. So this is where these are going to come in. You're going to hold the back, and then you're going to use your 2mm driver, and you're just going to tighten up each of those. So once you've got all 4 nice and tight, they're not going to come loose because those are lock nuts. It's got a bit of nylon in there which isn't gonna let the nut go. You're gonna tighten all 4 nice and tight. Same here. So now you've got a really solid arm. So we've got everything tightened up, everything's nice and tight, all of those. So now we can put the rest of our standoffs on. We've got one more thing to do on the power distribution board. Sort it out now. So included in your pack was also one of these. That makes it nice and easy to attach to your power distribution board. So we're just gonna get those nice and tight, and we just need to tin them again. So clean off your soldering iron, tin each wire. Now, as I mentioned, there's your 5 volt here, so you need to make sure they're the right way around, and we're gonna have to pre-tin those as well. So I'm just gonna get to those little pads there. Remember, don't heat them up too much. You just literally want to dot a bit of solder on there so that it sticks. There we go. Again, so that it sticks. And the one thing to be careful of are these little nylon guys, that you don't hit those with your soldering iron. So you're going to take your positive, so now we've got our 5 volt power. That's going to run up with these guys and attach to our flight controller. So now we are ready to put the flight controller on the top.